and there is a power. And when we talk about the power, we're talking about the power that everything has come from. When we talk about creation, we're talking about the energy, the thing that was here first, that will always be here. And it is the power that made all of itself and keeps making itself in the energy of peace. God. That's our own unique energy, because we all each are a part of this energy of the God love for peace. So I know right now within myself, as I take the peace in my heart, mind, and spirit for every action and reaction, I know that I'm passing this power of peace on. I'm passing it for the energy, so that as I go forward into what I need to for my own unique peace, I pass this on as we are truly accepting the blessings of peace, poise, and power. I'm thankful and grateful for the unique energy that no matter where I am, what I'm doing, I can stop in peace. Peace, the patient energy, attitude, change, exercise, peace in God. And I'm thankful for God giving us this energy and our capabilities to use for peace. And I release this and give it to God in thanksgiving and prayer. And so it is. Amen.
Welcome to the Napa Valley Center for Spiritual Living. We are a vibrant, inclusive, and spiritual community that seeks to live intentionally, love unconditionally, and see God in all people and in all faiths. We believe the work we do in prayer and in the community creates a world that works for all cultures, races, orientations, and faiths. For over 60 years, we have practiced thinking globally and acting locally to help awaken humanity to its spiritual magnificence. Annually, hundreds of people actively participate in our services, classes, events, and in our Spanish-speaking ministry. And we are training the next generation of spiritual leadership in our ministerial school. In the last few years, because of apparent divisions politically and socially, and because of threats to basic human rights, we have magnified our application of science of mind principles with engagement and compassionate action in the greater Napa Valley community. Our members have participated in women's marches, pride events, and we have hosted speakers on racial issues. We have empowered and mentored diverse leaders in our community and given scholarships to diverse ministerial students. We have donated over 4,000 pounds of food to our local food bank. Our spiritual director, Reverend Jay Lang, has facilitated an interfaith leadership group to hold public prayer vigils and 9/11 commemorations in participation with Jews, Muslims, and Christians. We have fostered the creation of a beloved community in the larger Napa Valley area by honoring community heroes at events and tithing to and partnering with a dozen different nonprofits that share our vision. Together, we've created a Martin Luther King Day of Service where over 1,200 participated in community service annually. The leadership of our parent organization, the Centers for Spiritual Living, headquartered in Golden, Colorado, recognized our community for all of the outstanding, compassionate work we've been doing over the last few years with the 2022 Meritorious Community Award. As we move forward to do this work of the heart, to awaken the world to its spiritual magnificence, will you join us as we continue to ascend to new heights and create a world that works for everyone?
So just a celebration of the divine, feminine, and masculine. An integration of it makes us all better people, and especially leaders of the world, corporations, and organizations. So we celebrate that history that we've had with women, that they've done so much to change this country, change this world in positive ways. So thank you, women. And welcome everybody, both online and here in person. What a beautiful day today is. The sun is kind of sneaking out between clouds now and then. We celebrate the rain and the sun today. And we celebrate Astra Fox being here for our musician. Let's welcome her.
Good morning. You want to sing a little bit with me? I'd love it if you join me in affirming our opening to the goodness and the love that's here with us today. I am opening to the love of Spirit. I am opening to the love of God. Bring it again. I am opening to the love of Spirit. I am
Thank you, Astra. So good to have everybody here today. We like to begin each service with saying our vision and mission. So if you'll look up on the screen and read with me, we are an inclusive community for spiritual growth and compassionate action. And our mission, we are co-creating a world that works for everyone by living intentionally, loving unconditionally, and seeing God in all people and all faiths. A glorious affirmation for us today on this beautiful day. Best day ever, right? Always the best day ever. I wanted to share one thing with you. There was a smudging workshop yesterday that many people, led by Peggy Usack. Let's give her a round of applause. And I wasn't here for the workshop, but they gifted me this beautiful smudge stick. And it was reminded me how we talk about visually clearing ourselves and becoming center, almost feeling in our body. But I think I'll say, forget about the olfactory sense for cleansing and clearing. So I'm just going to pass this around, and feel free to take a little breath in with it and pass it around and get a sense of just a clearing this morning. So, and if it can end up either back up here or back of the music stand, that'd be great. So this is Women's History Month. And I just want to honor this power that women have shown and continue to show throughout history, even though at times it's been oppressed and suppressed, and women continue to thrive and voice their power through their voice and their action. Some of my favorite quotes by women about this: Ruth Ginsburg, "Women's rights are an essential part of our overall human rights, trained on equal dignity and the ability to live in freedom that all people should enjoy." And Malala Yousafzai, she's of course the activist that was shot on the bus just going to school by terrorists because they were threatened by her going to school. And she said, "I lift up my voice, not so that I can shout, but so that those without a voice can be heard. Extremists have shown what frightens them most: a girl with a book." So we continue to support women throughout history, their fight for equality, and at this center we support those equal rights fully and completely. And we know that throughout, not only throughout history, but throughout this movement of New Thought, Unity, Center for Spiritual Living, Independent Religious Science, and Science of Mind, that women have been an integral part, an essential part. Quite frankly, I don't think I'd be standing here if it wasn't the women that furthered this movement of New Thought. So, and that we celebrate and hold in prayer, knowing that Spirit is the divine balance in all leaders, in all institutions and countries and organizations. Because the attributes of the divine masculine and feminine create a healthier world and a healthier leaders. We advocate for this, not as any particular country, corporation, or organization, but overall in all places and all aspects. So, to move on with things that are coming up, announcements. Today, after the center, Reverend Georgia Davis will be here. She's going to lead us in a free intro for her upcoming class. So if you're thinking about taking this Beyond the class, or you just want to show up and get a sense of her teaching, a sense of what might be part of these classes, you've never taken a class before here, hang around here. We'll have time for coffee and snacks, then come back in here, and she'll lead you through a process and give you an introduction, give you a sense of what taking classes are. I know sometimes some people are hesitant to commit to a number of weeks on an evening, but it's really worth it because you walk with other students through a process of applying these spiritual principles in your life, and there's great value to that. So join us here at noon for the free intro. The registration is out at the welcome table or in here during that free introduction. And then on Wednesday, March 19th, we're having an equinox celebration. We'll have the regular Wednesday meditation, and then right after that at 7, we're going to have a celebration and ritual. It's a really great way to refresh and renew yourself, to feel this spring energy within you. It's a natural way that the equinox is about balance, but it's also the spring is about restoration and renewal. So join us for that. And then also tied into that, the very next Saturday, the 22nd, we're having Patricia Everett here for aligning mind, body, and spirit through the sound healing. And she's an amazing master, I would call her, sound alchemist, and really has done work with a number of people, including Joe Dispenza, and workshops across the nation. So we have the gift that she's here locally. And also, a funny thing is Mary Ward won she paid for it, but in the auction, you win it, I guess, and was able to, that Patricia Everett gave a certain number of comp tickets. So she's going to bring a few people with her, but mostly we're paying people to come in because it's well worth it. So I hope you can be a part of that on Saturday, the 22nd. And then something also important to announce, we've been talking about Sip and Savor. We've been talking about the Compassionate Heart Awards. We want you to save the date, May 3rd, the first Saturday in May. But here's the important thing. Not only have Compassionate Heart Award nominations happened, but we have chosen 4 people, to be our winners. The first one that I don't have a picture of is we have decided to give a Lifetime Achievement Award. We started this with Harrison Osboom last SIP, and we decided to give it to an organization who's been doing their work for 100 years, Community Projects. They've given over $25 million to the Valley, and I don't know how they do it as a thrift store, but hundreds of volunteers and communication. They have, different kinds of sales and different things. Some are higher echelon kind of sales and luxury sales. So it's a really amazing. So they're going to, the head of the board or a representative of community projects will be here to receive that Lifetime Achievement for Community Projects. And then also, Kent Gardella is a local volunteer. He was nominated by Harris, and he served on numerous boards and executive leadership roles, demonstrates ongoing commitment to well-being of others. He's a 3-time board member and president of the Notary Club, and dedicated 13 years to If Given a Chance scholarship, which gives teens, high school teens, a chance when they normally wouldn't be able to go to college, as well as a mentoring program with that. He actually he's a Vietnam vet, and when he came home, he was assistant director of the Omega House Drug Counseling Program. Later, he began to help the Pathways Program out at the VA hospital, the VA home, and volunteered with Pathway House. I mentioned that. He started a program where Mother's Day program, so everyone's wife and mother got a gift. Started the Cycle for Sight bicycle event, or was part of that, and is currently working with the Therapeutic Riding Center, which connects people and horses through the goal of empowering their lives through compassion and healing. So he's just done, could also be a lifetime achievement person too. So we're honoring Kent. He's also the owner of the Napa Valley Jewelers, but that's what he does for business. That doesn't count, but that's kind of cool though. And then Tony McIntosh, who is employed by the school district as well as the police department. Stephanie Lamarca nominated her. Stephanie described her as an amazing woman who is a force for good in our community, helping young people find their way back to success. Part therapist, part probation officer, and steps into some of the most difficult situations that families and young people get themselves into and helps them to find a way out. She's about tough love with the emphasis on love, no nonsense approach, but she has so much respect from people who've worked with her and people she's helped. If there's one person Stephanie said she could clone, it would be Tony McIntosh. And then finally, the last one is one, it surprised me in some ways, but when people started realizing what he's done, it didn't surprise me. And it's actually a minister here, which is Pete Shaw from Crosswalk Community Church. And he has done so much for working with, being an advocate for all people. He was definitely one of the first Baptist ministers who advocated for gay marriage, equal rights of all kinds. He helped get the Black History Month celebration started here in Napa. Worked with the MLK, food banks, shelters, recovery groups, interfaith work. He's done so much. And I tell you, when I step in front of this community and I say, I support women's rights, I support equality for LGBTQ, I'm not concerned. I don't think I want to make sure you know I stand on that. But when he does that, he lost some of his accreditation and had to get reaccredited with a different region of baptism because there are some more conservative things. And so I honor his courage, and I think he deserves this award. And I think all 4 people do that. So give everybody a round of applause on that. So when is the Sip and Savor? That didn't sound like I heard everybody. Let me try it again. When is the Sip and Savor? May 3rd. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Okay. Now we'll begin with the sacred part of our service.
All right, so I invite you to sing along, or you can close your eyes and just listen. center of my being there is love. This love is perfect. This love is in me. At the center of my being there is love. At the center of my being there is peace. At the center of my being there is peace. This peace is perfect. This peace is in me. At the center of my being there is peace. At the center of my being there is love. At the center of my being there is love. This love is perfect. This love is in me. At the center of my being there is love. At the center of my being there is peace. At the center of my being there is love.
And maybe just take a big, deep breath, knowing that that one light, that one love, that divine consciousness right now is just weaving through each and every individual within this room. I know that that spirit is circulating right now through every one of us in that heartbeat, in that life-giving moment of surrender, peace, equanimity, and love. And as I speak my word today, in straight conviction, knowing that and having faith that this love is circulating now within this very room, in Reverend Jay's words today, in the music, and everything that just kind of happens behind the scene. I know that right now, that consciousness, that beautiful peace and love is just resonating from this room out into the world and the consciousness of this beautiful country we have. And I know right now that that is a manifestation in progress. And I just give thanks to it, knowing with certainty that it is already in the progress of being done. And I release it to the universal law, knowing it is divine right action, and it is. And so it is. And so as I walk today and step into that divine flow, I kind of like the thing about it. It's this whole week and month has brought up a whole lot of things. I'm thinking of Tina Turner today. What's change got to do with it? And that divine flow. And the other day I was leading a meditation, and let me pull this up because I'm not going to sing the whole dang song, but it made me think of okay, I'm going to try to say this correctly. Ecclesiastics. And Pete, did I get it wrong? Okay, ecclesia, I can't never get it right. And I practiced before I came, and then I lost it right before I got. But it made me think of Pete Seeger and then the birds. So I'm only going to, there's a time for rain and a time to sow. There's a time to plant and a time to reap. And there's a time for peace, and I swear it's not too late. See, I believe in all this stuff. And it's just part of my consciousness. It reminds me when I was a youngster running around town. I got suspended from Napa High School for going to a moratorium. We were like brave in Napa and got busted. But we went out and, we stood up for what we believed in, and it was fun, and if anything, that's the other part of my message today, because I'm not trying to take any steam away from Reverend Jay, but we need to learn how to have fun. Part of all of life is not being so dang serious, and not having our panties in a ruffle every minute. So my whole thought today is go out and do something fun, do something that's going to be good to your neighbor, and blessed be, and so it is.
And so it is.
Star seeds rise, your heart's drum is calling you home to stand and be the light shining through the shadows of darkness to heal the wounds of life. We shine, we are one truth, love divine. We are wisdom realized. Star seeds rise, we stand as one. We are one breath burning bright. We are sacred soul inside. Star seeds rise, we stand as one. As one. Transcendent truth, your heart's constellation, a symphony of light. Ignite, ascending through the veils of illusion. Behold your wings and fly on high. We are one truth, love divine. We are wisdom realized. Star seeds rise, we stand as one. We stand, we are one breath burning bright. We are sacred soul inside. Star seeds rise, we stand as one. Star seeds rise, your heart's drum is calling. Star seeds rise, your heart drum is calling. Star seeds rise, your heart's drum is calling.
You know, Astra, I've heard you sing that song probably a dozen times. I don't know if that much, but something today was different. And I don't know if I was more receptive to it or you were in a place of, so thank you. Thank you for being open to Spirit moving through you. Let's give her another round of applause. So this whole new month, a new march here that we march forward, we march into spring. I just love, like Michael talked about, this theme, stepping into divine flow. And I don't know if you can see this whole picture because it's down at the bottom and that screen may get in the way. But it's this woman, I think woman, it's a person at the bottom of the waterfalls who seems rather insignificant in comparison to the huge waterfall. And what I know is sometimes when we talk about spirit here, we talk about it, you know, the signs of mind symbol we have. We talk about the divine coming as divine flow in through our soul and into body, into form, into expression. And I love that concept of Trinity. I also like Richard Rohr's, who who's not a Jesuit, Benedictine monk, maybe, I don't really remember right off. But he talked about, he's a speaker and teacher. He talks about the Trinity as being the allness of spirit. The vastness of spirit, the awe of spirit. Looking at this waterfall and the rainbow, there's an awe there. And the second part of the Trinity for him is the living spirit within us, the indwelling spirit we find in quiet moments, that we can find peace, and that we may not find solution, but we find contentment. We find it's okay. I'm okay. It'll be okay. And then there's a third part that is moving through us and allowing us to express in the world something greater. So both Richard and we have that idea that spirit moves through us, that it's a divine flow that comes and channels, moves, flows through us as us. And I love this concept. We've all heard the idea about being in the flow. We might have experienced it a few times when everything seems easy and graceful, and that we can be effective in the world. We can be doing all the things we're to do, but there's a peace within us as we do it. I would call it a trust, that we're supported. The universe trusts us. We might be thinking of a question and we run into someone, and in that conversation we find an answer. Or maybe we don't even have a question. Somebody gives us something that gives us inspiration, revelation, an understanding of things on a deeper level. And it's a synchronicity, or something happens that opens us up. And we love that. I don't know if you are a fan of Harry Potter. I am. But in one of the movies and one of the books, and I can't tell you which one right now, he drank something called Felice, and it's liquid luck. And that he was able to, once he drank it, knew exactly what he needed to do, how to do it, when to do it, even though all his friends are going, that doesn't sound right. And he goes, just trust me. And he had this trust, and it all worked out. And guess what it did? It worked out perfectly. Now I'll tell you, I know it's a book, but I did wonder as I was watching that, I'm wondering if it was a real potion, or was it just a placebo that made him trust the universe? Now it's a fiction, so maybe it doesn't matter, but I want to tell you right now that you do not need a potion. You do not need a magic formula. That when you're willing to trust, you're willing to open up the divine flowing through you, it will come through you. It will be this magic happening in you, that we can step into this divine flow. So the first thing I want to talk about is what the theme for this month is, this week, is about navigating the tides of life. Navigating the tides of life. Ernest Holmes, our founder, said all of life is in a state of eternal flow. All life is in a state of eternal flow. Now, we believe that in theory, right? But sometimes the flow seems more like a wash machine that is moving us left to right and up and down, and rather than this smooth flowing river, it's sort of a yo-yo and a frantic way of life that we're trying to get somewhere. Sometimes we don't even know where we're trying to get, but we know we're not getting there. And that feeling of contentment and peace seems elusive. It seems like we're trying to force something or manipulate it, or we have this feeling of anxiety, and we feel blocked or right on the edge of things. My daughter-in-law, her name is Maddie. That's my son Brendan's wife. She spent 8 years getting a doctorate in research because she was trying to get to a certain job. She's been working in that job for 3 years. It's for the federal government. And many of the people around her have been fired, and she may get fired also. So she is concerned. She's anxious. And I understand that. And it doesn't mean she doesn't feel in control, but she feels happy. She feels content. She feels okay with trusting things the way they'll turn out. And I think that's important to do, that even if something appears to be broken in our lives, that we can find our center, we can find our flow, our personal flow that happens through us. There's a philosophy in life called the broken spoke philosophy. And if you think of a wheel of a bicycle or a wagon or a motorcycle, that if one spoke is off, it's broken, or on a bicycle it's called true, it's not trued. You true it to align it, which is an interesting word anyway. So we think if we have one part of our life that's off, not aligned, not in flow, whether it be our health, our prosperity, our relationships, our friendships, our whatever, our spirituality, our connection, if one aspect, then nothing is working, everything is broken. So that if one part is not true or aligned, that all of us is broken. And that is simply a lie that we can feel whole, not feel it. We are whole, complete, and beautiful. Even if one part of us is not quite true, we can in time find that true. That if you are a bicyclist, you take your bicycle to the mechanic and they true your wheel. They lined it up, and that's what we need to do within ourselves. We true ourselves. Isn't that a beautiful word? We true ourselves. We find alignment within ourselves. And it may take some time. Some tweaking, some adjusting, some connecting. And what I know is that when we don't feel out of alignment, things do feel a little bit off. I know Michelle and I were on a bike ride one time, and part of my bicycle was broken, and the brake was loose. It wasn't tight, and it was rubbing against my tire. And I thought I was super out of shape. I am kind of out of shape, but still, this was really bad. I was really slow, and Michelle has this e-bike, and she was just zipping and wondering what was taking me so long. And I needed to adjust something. I finally, I swear I went for like 5 miles before I said, okay, enough is enough. What's going on with my bicycle? And then I reached in there and just did this little, oh, that was easy. And sometimes that's what it takes. And the other part of that, even when we're not true, we're not aligned, we're not in the flow, there is this spirit around us that holds when we're in grief, when we're struggling with a friendship, when we're struggling with our health. That spirit is this circle around us that holds us in love and light and peace and deeper connection. And that is always there. And that part of us, which is the all of us, because we're all one, is whole, complete, and beautiful. Just the way you are. I look out, I know that beauty. I know this completeness that you are. And spirit is that energy around you, that consciousness that is that also. So be connected in this way and allow yourself to feel this beauty, to feel this deeper connection. And I think we can always feel that personal freedom. We can find this personal freedom. I can say that I've had a lot of privilege living in this country. Also being a white cisgender male helps with that also. And I have resources. I have ways that have supported me that I just had to ask that some people don't have. But I also know people that live here in this country who struggle more, and people in other countries, including Ukraine and Russia. I have heard stories of people that live in other countries like Gaza and Afghanistan and Pakistan and China and other places where freedom is not as easy to find. And they have found their personal freedom. They know their personal freedom. People in concentration camps, people in oppressive regimes, that we can, no matter what happens, we can always have our personal freedom, our personal connection, our personal flow. So we know that there is always a flow and always a deeper connection. When I first came to Napa, I I bought a kayak because I came from Colorado where all the water there is roaring water, and I did rafting, but I didn't feel connected, and I didn't feel comfortable enough to kayak in those roaring rivers that would go from high elevations to lower elevations. But here I'm going, wow, the Napa River is so calm out there. So I got a kayak, I got out there, and soon found out there's another current flowing in here. You can't see it. It's called a tide. So I would kayak, and I would feel this resistance, and I would go another way, and I would feel a flow, even though it was unseen. I learned how to read tide tables, and I was able to go with the outgoing tide towards San Pablo Bay, and when the tide shifted, I'd turn around and flow right back home with ease and grace. And I think that's the way we are aware. There is invisible forces in this universe that we cannot see, but they are forces nevertheless. You think of gravity, you can't see gravity, right? You can see the effects of gravity. If you drop something, it falls. The water flowing from high elevations to low elevation, that's gravity. There are other forces, a divine flow that is always flowing. And like the tides that are in our rivers and oceans, they may be unseen, but they are powerful forces. And we can feel them, we can attune with them, connect with them, allow them to move through us. Remember, I was just talking about the allness of spirit that is this force that flows through us, and we allow it to come through us and be this power to tune in, true up, and be this powerful force that's here. There's a mighty flow for good that's greater than we are, and we can allow it to use us to do good in the world. Ernest Holmes says there's a place in us that is above confusion and fear. If we get quiet long enough and listen deeply enough, we shall hear. I always think about the deep part of a river, even deeper than the Napa River, but the Napa River too, that there can be turmoil on top, but the deep is the peace that we can find when we quiet ourselves. And this is the second part of what I want to say is the importance of creating a pause. This talk, Home Office Center for Spiritual Living provides outlines of talks, and the ministers can use them or not. Most of the time I don't use a lot of them, but this one was very interesting because it was first written by a practitioner in Spanish and then translated into English. So some of the phrasing is interesting, and I'm sure people that are Spanish language or German language as your home, whatever that language is, and things are interpreted from English into your language, they're a little odd. There's always weird phrases that every language has. So in this one, creating a pause didn't sound right to me. It didn't, but when I thought about it, it made perfect sense. To create, allow a pause to happen. When things are not flowing in your life, you know the phrase about just don't stand there, do something. Well, when things aren't flowing in your life, I actually believe don't do something. Just stand there, sit there, be there. And pay attention to the subtle energies of our body and the world around us and just tune into this. Step out of your ego, your identity, and especially step out of that thing that you think is a problem, that thing that keeps you from being whole or complete, that you wish was different. And there's could be 999 things that are going great in your life, but that one thing that's not, it's got your attention. Whether it's a relationship, a health situation, prosperity situation, that's what gets your attention. Instead, just allow this divine nature to come through us, opening to the divine wisdom that is alive within us, an intuition, a sense what is right, the right way to do things. Now, intuition is a whole nother topic, and I will talk about that next week. But I often talk about the intuition within us, the guidance is being a still, small voice. My talk next week is why is the still, small voice still so small? So I'll talk more about that next week. But I do want to say this about it, that when we attune, there is a sense in our body. It may be something we hear, but more likely it's something we feel in our body. We sense it. You could have a vision, an image of a way. So there's many different ways to feel this. But what I know is it begins with a question, a willingness to open up to something greater. Last week, this week that's just finished up, I had a lot of meetings, and I was really focused on the Compassionate Heart Award winners and renting our space, which, by the way, we have it rented now. That's good. And a lot of focus on that. And I had a meeting that was about the Compassionate Heart Awards that we were choosing the recipients, and I was really focused on it. I put a lot of energy into it. After it was over, it was about 5:10 p.m. on Wednesday afternoon. I was just exhausted. I don't get exhausted very often. I get tired and can rejuvenate myself pretty easily. I can do that. But this is why and then what I had to do was I was scheduled to lead the meditation at 6 o'clock. And if I was at home, I would have laid down and taken a nap for at least, or just laid, but I was here in the sanctuary. I couldn't go home. I didn't have time to do that. God, what am I going to do? So literally I go, wait a minute. God, hey, how can I get rejuvenated, renewed, available for this meditation? Because I want to be present. We're having more and more people show up for Wednesday meditation, and I just want to be present. And I just stayed quiet for a moment. And then Diana Browning walked in. And she had been playing ukulele with Harris, and she saw me and didn't know anything about what was going on. She goes, "Hey, I'm going to be here anyway. Do you want me to lead the meditation?" I gave her a big hug. Just went up her and she's going, "Oh, what's all this about?" Calm down, exactly. But what I know is I don't know why it still surprises me. God is good. Spirit is always moving through us, always creating new, always guiding us, if we're willing to trust it, if we're willing to allow it to come through us and be this deeper self. I like what Gabrielle Bernstein talks about what she calls the choose again method. And it's pretty simple, and I use it all the time. So when we find ourselves not in alignment, we just observe that. We notice it. Hey, what's going on? First thing is awareness. I'm not feeling it. I don't feel connected. I feel disconnected. I feel out of alignment, not sure what to do, in doubt. Just be aware of that. And maybe look to see what's blocking your flow. It may be just a simple awareness that may be able to turn things, but there may be something particular, unforgiveness. I'll tell you the other day, oh God, I was, my brain, I'm glad no one else could get in my brain because it's a messy thing up there. I was at a stoplight and, red light, and my light turns green and suddenly a car comes right across, ran the red light. And it was a Tesla truck. And I go, oh, that arrogant SOB. I go, whoa, you made that judgment just because he was driving a Tesla truck? Come on, Jay. I don't even know who's driving this car. By the way, there's a lot of people running red lights in Napa these days. And I didn't have the same judgment over them when they were driving a different truck. That's on me. So I go, okay. Reassess, knowing that there was a cause, and it's my own judgments that I need to clear. So you may do a soft look and you may see something you may not. But look to see if there's something blocking your way. See if there's some source that you can let go of. And then second of all, forgive yourself for having that thought, for being out of alignment again, for not paying attention, not being conscious, doing things not mindful. Just forgive it. Let it go. Don't be thinking, oh, I should be beyond this by now. and then choose again. Pretty simple, right? Choose what it is you're seeking to do. Observe, notice, clear any thought, forgive yourself, choose. So I chose in that moment at that stoplight. You know, the light was green already, so I went and opened myself up to be more open to recognizing, as Valerie Carr would say, people that are part of me I just don't know yet. I don't know that part of me. I don't know them yet. But I know they're a part of me because everybody's a part of everything, right? So finally, we move to step towards flow. Step towards that divine flow. It doesn't mean that when you have this realization, like, oh, I'm not in the flow, I choose flow, that it's going to immediately open up for you right away. It means that intention you're moving towards the divine flow, towards the light, towards love, taking steps. Now, this picture of a beach, I love beaches, but there's also metaphors about getting stuck in sand. I was driving on a beach in Washington State and I got stuck. I had to get pulled out. Sand can be like quicksand. We can be like a beached whale sometimes in our stuck consciousness, and we need help to get off the beach, to get back into the flow. Ask for help. Don't be so stubborn. You know what? People love to love you. People love to help you. But if you don't ask, if you're not opening up, they can't love you. Just give them the chance to love you and be open to loving others too. I loved, there's certain quotations I use from talk, and I bring them back the next week because I could not, this one was still resonating in me, and that was the one by Prentice Hempel, who wrote this book about what it takes to heal, because in healing, we can transform ourselves and change the world. And that's the importance of the healing work. It's more than just for us. We can transform the world. And she was talking about how when we welcome love from ourselves or others, it's really challenging because it goes against our training. That there is a resistance to love in a culture that puts us down, shames us, encourages us to run after other less authentic versions of ourselves. But what if we were able to see ourselves as we are, whole, complete, and beautiful, right? To embrace our histories, resist shame, and still insist on taking action. That, to me, is a love practice. A love practice. And a love practice includes not just loving others, but being loved. To open up to others and allow them to love you. Allow them just to show their compassion. They want to love. We want to love. Let it be reciprocal. Let it open us up in a greater way. I also was listening to Audre Lorde this week, who's an activist. You don't know her, outspoken activist. She said, when I dare to be powerful, to use my strength in service of my vision, then it becomes less and less important whether I am afraid. That's powerful to me, because that means when I am focused on the divine flow, when I'm focused on what I want to intend, I'm not concerned about my fears. I'm not concerned about whether I'm doing it right. I'm not concerned about the doubts I may have. I only saw you were there. I was talking about you earlier, and I didn't see you. I went right past you. That we are open to something greater in our lives. So that vision that holds us, that opens us up. When I talk about what is right, I want to be clear that I'm not saying that there's anything that could be wrong. It's just not what is life-affirming, life-connecting in the flow. When I'm talking about right, it's like the Eightfold Path in Buddhism. That's the middle way: right view, right resolve, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, right concentration. It's almost like the three bears, right? You know, the chair that was too hard, the chair that was too soft, and the chair that was just right. And it's what is right. The only way we know what is right is to sit our assets on that chair and figure it out and experience it and be in this aliveness that is. I would suggest, I know there's a lot of concerns about people have with things going on in the world right now. But I think we need to find what is our calling, what is ours to do. I would suggest it is, people talk about Project 2025, but we can choose our own personal Project 2025, what we're going to do this year, what we're going to do to make a difference. And you can't do it all, but you can choose something that makes a difference. I have a friend who's working on special elections that are in Florida and New York that are, I think April 1st is when they are. People that are working with pro-inclusion Napa. People that are working with the interfaith community. You can't do it all, but you can do one or two things. Because if you're trying to do too many things, you don't have enough bandwidth to do anything effectively. So choose one or two or three things and focus on that. It could be your job right now that is one of service. Focus on that, making a difference. Remember, when we heal ourselves, we transform the world. When we're doing our work, not being afraid, we are making a difference. There's more than one way to be in this divine flow. We just step towards this flow in the way that we perceive it, that we sense it. We navigate the tides, we pause frequently, and step towards this flow. Let us go to prayer. As we move into the flow that is Spirit itself, that is the allness, the completeness, the wholeness, the beauty that is around us. And we just bring it into our own individual consciousness, into our own inner being. And know that which is all around us is us also. That the Spirit is alive in us, alive and well, leading us. And it is leading us right now in this moment. Creating through us. Healing us. And our words, for those whom we care much about, we know their healing is happening too, their deeper connection, their aliveness. And those whom we're challenged with, we know Spirit is in them also, moving, creating balance and aliveness, healing and wholeness. We know all of this is the nature of Spirit, and we are so grateful for in this moment. We know that flow is happening through us and through all nations, all corporations, all organizations. We know that to be true right here and right now. And so it is.
When they said you couldn't do it, when they said you wouldn't win, did you take it for the answer and not trust the voice within? How can they know which way your wind blows? Look inside of you for the truth, the voice inside of you, the calling from within will guide you on your path to heaven. When they tell you life is empty, when they tell you love is pain, can you feel the heart that's aching and the fear that sounds like blame? How can they know which way your wind blows? Look inside of you for the the truth, the voice inside of you, the calling from within will guide you on your path to heaven. See yourself as if there's nothing to it. See yourself as if it's already done. And see yourself as if you've already been through it. And you've won when you think you can do it. And you know you will win. You align with life that breathes you and the strength alive within. And you will know how strong your wind blows. Look inside of you for your truth, the voice inside of you, the calling from within will guide you on your path to heaven. 'Cause how can they know which way your wind blows?
Thank you, Astra. I appreciate everybody being here today. What does the airline say? We know you had other choices, especially on a beautiful day. So thank you for sharing your Sunday with us. This is a time in our service when we share of our abundance, invite you to be part of the law of circulation. If our ushers could come forth. We know that Spirit moves us and opens us up in many ways. Whether it's love or financial abundance that we share, this law of circulation is a giving and receiving and opens us up for the divine flow. So thank you for your support. Many different ways to donate. There's a QR code, online donations, or to give financial contributions, either you might have in the past or today or in the future. Thank you for your support of our vision and mission. So take your hand and put it over your heart to represent that which you've given today or in the past or in the future. And repeat this affirmation with me. Divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I circulate. And so it is.
All right, won't you sing with me, affirming our gratitude for our abundance? I am thankful, so thankful. I am thankful, so thankful. I am. I am. So thankful. I am joyful, so joyful. I am joyful, so joyful. I am. Oh, I am. I am so joyful and thankful and joyful.
All of that, yes. As I mentioned, I appreciate everybody being here today. We especially want to honor those who are here with us for the first time. And if you're willing to raise your hand, we want to honor you, give you a gift. And anybody willing to raise your hand as being here for the first time? Oh, right up here. Thank you. Welcome, welcome. We do have coffee and snacks out in the courtyard. as well as other children that join us often. So thank you for being here. We also, this first of the month, so in March, we like to honor anybody who might have a birthday in March. Anybody have a birthday in March? Got a birthday in March? And several birthdays? All right. And anniversaries. Anybody have we have an anniversary? This is in March. Awesome. Our date anniversary. And we also honor anybody who it's a celebration for them of their sobriety anniversary. We honor that pathway. We know it's an anonymous one, so we don't ask you to raise your hand, but we honor that pathway and know that it is it's a way of spirit, and we appreciate you being open to that pathway and know it's the best and true one for you, thinking about truing the bicycle wheel. So we have an affirmation here for our new people and birthdays and anniversary. We say, we bless you today, knowing that the peace and happiness you seek is also seeking you. We honor your inner radiance as you let your light shine in the world. We are grateful for your presence in our community, and so it is. Yay. We also want to invite you to prayer that after the service, if the practitioners could come forward, please. We have practitioners who would be delighted to pray with you in a personal one-on-one affirmation. And we also have ways for, in the lobby, you can fill out a prayer request or online. The practitioners and I and Reverend Georgia love being able to pray for you. The privilege of that, we consider it a sacred honor. So just like, I'm saying, please let people love you. Let us pray for you. We would love to do that. So. Come back in at noon. And come back in at noon for the Beyond Limits intro. And let's welcome our children. Come up here. You want to come up here? Michael, could you get the microphone for Mary?
Okay, I'll say it then. Okay, here we go.
I learn from my mistakes,
and I believe in
myself.
Yay. So when you look at children, it's easy to see that they're whole, complete, and beautiful, right? See it in yourself too, okay? All right, we have an affirmation for them somewhere. Oh, it's already up here. Thank you. So we say, we love you, we care about you, and we're here for you. All right. Always. All right, let's stand for the congregational affirmation, our closing song today. Repeat after me. Something wonderful is happening through me right now.
Something wonderful is happening through me right now.
I am led by Spirit.
I
am guided by wisdom. I am protected by love. I am here to be a blessing. I am so grateful. And so it is. And now stand.
So let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We are making a new world now. So let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We are making a new world now. One more time. Let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We are making a new world now. We are making a new world now. We are
As we go forward, let's navigate those tides and move into the flow. Have a great Sunday.